Hi, Heidi from Genius Paradigm here again. I wanted to tell you a little bit about my education story. Last time I told you about kindergarten. This time I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what happened to me in a little bit later on. First of all, when I first started going to school, first kindergarten through second grade, my family lived in a house that the backyard butted up against the field to the school. And so just, maybe two doors down, there was this alleyway that went between two houses, and I could walk to school through that little walkway and walk across the fields and go to my class. It was really nice. It was very nice to have the school that close. And it was nice for my mom too, because I had, at that point, I had two little brothers and a sister on the way. And so had her hands full, and she couldn't take me to school every day. I think a lot of moms today might be taking their kids to school now because they just might have had the same experience I did. Unfortunately, I started dreading my walk from school home because here I was, this little 6, 7-year-old, and these bigger kids would ride their bikes home the same route I walked, and they would ride their bikes around me and call me names. And this went on for a while, and then finally, when they started pulling up my dress as I was walking home, I told my mom. And I'm not quite sure if it was if the kids bullying me was scarier or what happened next. She took me to the principal's office. And I mean, 6, 7 years old, all I knew was you got sent to the principal when you were bad. And so I had to go to the principal's office and tell him who was doing this to me and point them out. It was really scary. And I was determined that I would never put myself in that situation again. Well, a few years after that, different community, different home, different school. This was in fifth grade. I uh, I was getting bullied again. This time on the playground, and I wasn't going to go tell on him. I remember I loved my teacher. Her name was Miss Ruby, and she was just so excited about teaching, and she I just loved school except for recess. And so what I did is I went to the library. School still had libraries then, and librarians. And this librarian was amazing. She taught me how to make three-dimensional um, objects out of using a compass, and making them out of construction paper. I still teach kids how to do that. Her inspiration has lasted all these years. I love it. And every recess, every lunch, I would spend my time with her, and that's what got me through that time. And we had to leave halfway through fifth grade. My dad's business went bankrupt. My parents lost the home that we were living in, and we had to leave our community, leave our school, leave our home, and move to a different area. My dad opened a new business. My mom was helping him build his business, and but they were very determined that they would be sure that they put us kids in a good school. So they had to find a new home for us in a good school district. And so they ended up finding a home in, a middle class neighborhood that was supposed to have really good schools. And the new school, I'll never forget, my mom telling the story and also my part in it. But I mean, the first day of school, we all went to school, and it was within walking distance again. And my two brothers were in school now as well. And so My youngest brother, when she picked him up, he was crying, and she was just like, "Oh, well, it was in the middle of the school year, a lot of trauma." And so my mom just figured, "Oh, it's not a big deal." Um, the second, my other brother, my brother just younger than I, he came home from school. This is a kid that just never cried, and he came home crying. And she was like, "Okay, maybe something's going on." I got home and I started crying. And this time it wasn't the kids, it was the teachers. Anyway, I'm going to tell you that story on my next education story. Until then, thank you for watching, and I appreciate you sharing and liking this, and have a great day.